Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's Dirty, and I'm back. And I don't know how true this is, but I just heard little rumors, and I haven't got into full depth or went and researched anything on it. But apparently, going around on YouTube also is that Sony may be bundling the PS Vita with the PS4 for $500. I mean, that's decent, you know what I'm saying? $500, extra $100, you get a PS Vita. And I've been wanting a Vita for a while now, but I just haven't picked up one because, it's not too many, games on there. It's mostly ports. The same games you get off the PS3, you can buy for the PS Vita. And that comes to the conclusion where that half of these consoles has no identity for themselves. Like, no identity whatsoever. And why I say that is because look at the PS Vita. When it was announced and people actually seen specs, it blew, the 3DS, out the water, spec-wise, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, IGN, everybody was talking about, oh, well, Nintendo is doomed, you know what I'm saying? Like, the 3DS is just a phase, a fad, playing the game in 3D. PS Vita's gonna come out and crush it. Look what all it can do. It got a high def screen. It's touch screen. It got touch in the back. It got 2 analogs. All this good stuff going for the PS Vita. But what's the PS Vita now? You know what I'm saying? It's been on the market, for 2.5 years? Going on 3, I think. And nobody's making games for this handheld, this powerful handheld that everybody said that was going to crush Nintendo, 3DS, you know what I'm saying, and make Nintendo go back to the drawing board and bring out another handheld, and it hasn't happened. And why it hasn't happened is because the PS Vita, Sony itself does not have an identity. You know what I'm saying? It don't have an identity. Sony does not know what Sony wants to be. Sony wants to be other companies. I put it that way. When you look at the PS Vita and the 3DS is outselling the Vita, you know what I'm saying, hands down. I mean, just smacking it across the board, you know what I'm saying. Game-wise for the 3DS is games galore on the 3DS you can get. And it's different variety of games. And that's why I say identity, because the identity is the 3DS has its own identity. The 3DS is not trying to be, you know what I'm saying, wasn't trying to be like the Wii, and it ain't trying to be like the Wii U. The 3DS is its own. It got its own identity. It got its own games, you know what I'm saying? And it has a variety of different type of games. And that's what the Vita is lacking. The Vita is lacking different types of games. Why? Don't know. I mean, they say, Vita's for the hardcore, but hardcore look like don't buy games. They don't want to play different types of games. They want to play 1 to 2 different genres of games, you know what I'm saying? And that's first person shooter and third person shooter. Everything the hardcore person plays gotta have a gun in their hand. You know what I'm saying? And the 3DS, man, they got tons of games you can play. I'm talking about good quality games, that you want to play. But the PS Vita doesn't, because it doesn't have an identity. Sony is trying to make this PS Vita, trying to give it the identity of the PS3, and the PS3 really doesn't have an identity of itself. So you're bundling the PS Vita with the PlayStation 4 and you want to turn it into a controller. Okay, now, like I said, no identity. Now you want it to be like a controller, like the Nintendo gamepad for the Wii U. Why don't you bring games out for this? Nobody is talking about the Vita. When Vita was launching and Vita came out, everybody was just talking and praising this system. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, it's the best handheld ever. But if it's the best handheld ever, why is it not selling? Why are they not putting games on this system? You know why? Because they don't have an identity. And the second, nobody's going to buy different type of games for this Vita. Like, hardcore gamers don't play other types of games, genre of game. They don't want to play any RPG, nothing like that. They don't want to play anything like that. The only thing they want to play is something with guns, swords, and blood. That's it. If it don't have it in there, they are not buying it. But when you look at Nintendo, Nintendo has their own identity. Look at the Wii U. The Wii U has its own identity from the 3DS. Yeah, the Wii is starting off slow, but now they're picking up. You know what I'm saying? From this month, you know what I'm saying, until next year, there are going to be games coming out month after month after month to December, you know what I'm saying, from Nintendo and from other third parties. So why Nintendo can get different type of games, but the PS Vita can't, the 360 can't, the PlayStation 3 can't. When you look at the PlayStation 4 and you look at Xbox One, there's nothing different from the two. They're both identical. Who want two systems that does the same exact thing? You know what I'm saying? When you look at Nintendo, eventually I'm gonna have Xbox One and PS4. That's just the type of person I am. I see some good games I want to play. Eventually, I'm going to get it. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing that from day one, having multiple consoles. Now, the Xbox One and PS4, they are exactly the same. Microsoft said, hey, we spent $1 billion, $1 billion on games. Okay, is these exclusive games or are these third-party games where it's time exclusive for them to pay the developers, hey, put this on Xbox One. Hey, Atlas, put this on Xbox One. Capcom, put that on Xbox One. $1 billion? I hope these $1 billion are on your first-party game, because everybody knows Microsoft doesn't have a shitload of first-party games. They just don't. But they do have first-party games that sell, which is Halo. You know, Forza, that sells. Fable, it sells. But they really don't have a lot of exclusives. And when you look at Sony, Sony has so many exclusives from the PS2 days, the PS3 days, and maybe PS1. It's been so long, you know, I haven't messed with the PS1. And it's like, from the PS1 and PS2, Sony has lost their identity. Sony doesn't know what they want to do. Sony is looking at other companies and like, you know what? We gotta be like them. We gotta do everything that they doing so people can buy our system. No, you don't supposed to be like that. You're supposed to have your own identity. Microsoft supposed to have your own identity. Nintendo has their own identity. You don't see Nintendo running to do what Sony does, what Microsoft does. Nintendo does their own thing. And that's why Nintendo will be around longer. And I say this, longer than Sony will. Because if Sony go the same route with the PS4 that they did with the PS3, we might not even see a PS5. You know, we might not even see a PlayStation 5. And I'm being honest, because everybody knows how much money Sony has lost on this PS3. They just not making profit on the PS3 like 2 years ago. All this time since they launched, they've been losing money. They shutting down studios. They selling buildings. They selling first party studio. It's crazy because Sony doesn't have its identity. They tried to have that identity. They were somewhere with the identity of the PS2, but then when the 3 came out, it's like they lost it. It's like we looking at what Microsoft is doing because Nintendo decided to do something different. But we're gonna look what Microsoft is doing, and we're gonna, whatever they do, we're gonna try to do it. And that's what Sony is messing up at. Because when you look at these two consoles that's coming out, ain't nothing different. They all fucking similar. They all do the same thing. They're all gonna have the same games. I guarantee you 90 to 95% of these games Xbox One, PS4 will have from third parties. Third party is not going to try to put a different type of game out there. They're not. If they do, it's going to be a small percentage. And that small percentage, those games would not sell on those systems. And I don't know why developers don't realize that. You know what I'm saying? Half of these games that you're putting out on these systems, they not buying them. Like Tomb Raider. They wanted Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider cost $100 million and something just to make and develop for. But they said it didn't do good. It didn't do well. I think it sold what, over 1 million on the 360, over 1 million, and I think it sold just over 1 million on, you know, the PS3. So I mean, maybe 2 million. I think it was 2 million. I seen the numbers. I think it was like 2 million maybe on the Xbox, and then maybe 1 million, 1.5 million on, you know, the 360. I mean, on the PS3. I could be wrong. Numbers probably just shot up, but they was disappointed of the sales. They was disappointed of the sales between all three: Xbox, PlayStation, and even PC. But now they turn around and say, oh, you know what? We got plans to do a Tomb Raider 2, and we want to put them on, you know, the Xbox One and PS4. Okay, the motherfuckers didn't sell. You was crying about that they didn't sell. You know what I'm saying? They had a chance to put that on the Wii U. Wii U would have got you close to 1 million, in my opinion, with Tomb Raider. It would have got them a nice chunk of sale, and that would have been more money. But hey, like I said, different games that come on Sony and Microsoft do not sell well. It have to be key franchises that actually sell well on their system. And if it ain't 2K, if it ain't Madden, if it ain't Call of Duty, Battlefield, Mass Effect, BioShock, maybe Final Fantasy, because none of the Final Fantasies did well on any other systems. But they got like 1 or 2 coming out for, you know, the Xbox One and PS4. So, you know, but what I think what Microsoft did when they said they spent $1 billion on gaming, you motherfuckers, they put $1 billion in each developer's pocket. They split that money up to developers to be like, put games on this Xbox One. We need games for the Xbox One, put it on there. And I think that's why some developers don't want to mess with Nintendo, because it's crazy is that you can bring all the games out for the Wii, for the original Wii, even if half of it, majority of it was shovelware, you still develop for it, you know what I'm saying, and you still put it out there for the Wii. Now the Wii U is here, it's up to par, you know what I'm saying, it has high definition graphics, you know what I'm saying, and it's much powerful than these last 2 consoles, but you don't want to put anything on there. Why? Because Nintendo is not kissing your ass. Nintendo is not throwing out money. Be like, you know what? We want Grand Theft Auto 5. Here go a couple of million. Make Grand Theft Auto 5 for the Wii U. You know what I'm saying? Sony and Microsoft does that. Sony and Microsoft throw money at developers. Like, here, put that on there. Here, put that on there. Oh, we need the new Call of Duty Ghosts. We still need those packs first. There you go, Microsoft throwing that money. Some of that's billions. They throwing it at them. Hey, out of this 1 billion, Here goes son, we gonna need the map packs first. We gonna need it before PlayStation 4. We gonna need it before Sony. So let's keep this going. Here go a little bit to put in your pocket. Thanks, you know what I'm saying? That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. They paying these developers, hey, put this game on our system. Here go a little something on the side. There you go, there you go, there you go. And that's what they doing. Because why won't developers put games on the Wii U? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna make money regardless. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's a small, you know, install base. We're trying to wait to the majority of the systems, you know, sell more, you know what I'm saying, to get a bigger install base, and we'll start putting games on there. But you're making games for the Xbox One and PS4. And there's no fucking install base. Nobody has it. It's not even out, but you're making games for it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Sony, Microsoft throwing money out to get these games on their consoles. They look at Nintendo as, you're not doing the same thing. Well, we're not going to put our games on there because you're not giving us money. And that's what I think. And that's why it comes back to that there's no identity for these consoles or these handhelds. There's no reason why the PS Vita should not have games. Why is most of their games ports? I don't want to play Tekken. I got it already. I don't want to play Marvel, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I got it. Don't want to play Mortal Kombat 9. I got it. Why is I'm buying these games over again just to play on a handheld? That's stupid. And nobody mentioned anything about this year's E3, that it was like 4 games Sony announced for the PS Vita. 4 games. That's it. 4 games for the PS Vita. Nobody say nothing. But anything Nintendo does is, man, you hear about Nintendo, they done lost sales, or they only sold 160K for 3 months. But nobody is talking about Vita. Nobody talks about, you know, how Sony kept it quiet, that, you know, that they people accounts got breached. You know what I'm saying? They didn't say nothing about that. Nobody say anything about the Red Ring of Death, how it was over 60% of Xbox having Red Ring of Death, and you had to go out and repurchase another one. Nobody is stepping up to say, why is these fucking old ass consoles still $300 to $350 in stores, and in 2 to 3 months we have new consoles coming out? Nobody says anything about these companies when it comes to stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they don't have an identity. PS Vita does not have an identity. That's why there's no games for it. Look at the 3DS. 3DS has its identity. The 3DS is going to give you multiple different games to play. You know what I'm saying? The Wii U is going to be the same way. It's starting off slow, but it's going to pick up. It's eventually going to pick up. And when it does, you're going to see developers scrambling to try to put games, ports over to the Wii U. And the PS3 and the Xbox 360 are basically the same. They are basically the same. When you look at the 2 new ones that's coming out, they basically the same. TV, apps, you know what I'm saying? The iToy, the Connect, everything is fucking same. The RAM. It's like, you know what I'm saying, the fanboys, they don't even have nothing to argue over. They arguing over RAM. How much RAM the developers gonna use. Oh, Sony gotta use 3.5 gigs for their iOS, and the rest is for games. The Xbox is only using 1, so we get 6. You know, we get 7 gigs, you know, for gaming. You actually think that these developers are going to use all 7 gigs of RAM on a game when this Xbox One come out? Are you crazy? That shit is not going to be done until its damn near life cycle is almost over, or halfway through its life cycle. Nobody's gonna use all 7 gigs of RAM, man, on no game. That's ridiculous. They're not, and people are just getting hyped up over specs and numbers and not looking at the picture or thinking about, hey, what games are they gonna put on here? I want to play these types of games. And then you just have other people that just follow other people just because it looks cool. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think. There is no identity for these other consoles. Identity, the Nintendo, they already got their identity. They already know what they want to do. They're not trying to follow suit over here. You know what I'm saying? They're not trying to have the exact same thing. Why would you want the Wii U to do and have the exact same thing as the other two? There's nothing different about it. And then you're going to get the exact same games. 90%, 95% of the same fucking games, and the rest you just got to choose from first party games. And that's stupid. But man, I ran it long enough on this because I can go on and on about that. But yeah, man, like I said, there's no identity for Sony at all. And there's no identity for Microsoft, because all they doing is they looking at each other and want to do the same exact thing. Nobody wants to be different because they think that they're going to lose fan base, or that nobody want to buy the system. And that's why Nintendo dropped out of that battle. They dropped out of that battle with the GameCube. They was like, look, we going somewhere else. I can go even further back than that, the Nintendo 64, because they said, you know what, we still want to use cartridge base. Everybody ran to CD. So Nintendo was doing their own thing. And Nintendo's still going to be all right. And they still making a profit. And the 3DS is still selling like hotcakes. So I don't know what Sony is going to do with this PS Vita. And I definitely don't want a PS Vita just to have it as a fucking controller. That's stupid. Get your own identity. Get some games. Get different variety of games instead of these first person, third person shooters and hack and slash with blood. Because I'm telling you right now, the next two systems, Sony and Microsoft, is going to repeat the same thing that these two just did. Just going to do a 360 all over again. You're not going to see too many unique original games on a system. I guarantee you, and you heard it first. Dirty, I'm out. Peace.